While Darius was preparing his forces for another attack on Greece, he died. He was succeeded by his son Xerxes, who began preparations to fulfill his father's dream. Thus began the Second Persian War. Scholars often disagree about Xerxes' character and achievements. Some consider him a powerful and honorable military man, while others portray him as overly proud and impatient. Despite his own unwillingness to attack mainland Greece, Xerxes was heavily influenced by a relative who told him that if he conquered Athens, his name would be held in honor all over the world. Xerxes thus began to put together a huge army of 250,000 soldiers and a navy of 600 ships to attack mainland Greece. His army was made up of Persians as well as subjects of the Persian Empire, including Phoenicians, Egyptians, and Ionian Greeks. Xerxes also constructed 2 bridges of boats roped together to span the Hellespont, a 33-mile-long sea channel that separates Europe from Asia. These bridges, which were an amazing feat of engineering, allowed the Persian army to easily march over the water and onto the Greek peninsula. In 480 BCE, Xerxes led his army across the Hellespont and marched through northern Greece to Macedonia and Thrace. The northern and the central Greek city-states quickly surrendered to the Persian forces. Sparta and Athens decided to work together to stop the Persians from advancing into central and southern Greece. The Athenian navy was given the responsibility of preventing the Persian navy from supplying reinforcements to its land forces. The Athenian navy had been fortified at the assistance of the Greek archon Themistocles by using silver found after the First Persian War in the Laurian mines south of Athens. The Spartans, under their king Leonidas, agreed to set up defenses at Thermopylae, a narrow pass between mountains and sea about 100 miles northwest of Athens. Although Xerxes saw the Spartan defenses, he ordered his troops to advance south and push along the road and through the narrow pass. Unable to use their superior numbers in a narrow space, the Persian soldiers fell back repeatedly and suffered severe losses. After 2 days of fighting, a Greek trader named Ephialtes showed the Persians a secret path around the pass and through the mountains that allowed them to attack the Spartans from behind. When Leonidas discovered this, he asked for reinforcement troops. However, Sparta refused to send more soldiers because of yet another religious festival. Thus, Leonidas was left to defend Thermopylae against the Persians with only a small force of 300 men. Outnumbered and surrounded, the Spartans nevertheless defended Thermopylae until the last man was dead. Supposedly, when Xerxes found the body of Leonidas after the bloody battle, he ordered his officers to cut off his head and fix it to a pole as revenge for the problems the Spartans had caused him. When the news of the defeat of Thermopylae reached Athens, most Athenians fled to the island of Salamis to avoid being captured. With no resistance, Xerxes and his troops marched to Athens and completely destroyed the city. Fearing the Persians' advance, officials of many other Greek city-states began to fortify their cities for battle. However, Themistocles, an Athenian general at the time, asked them to leave their cities and unite their forces near Salamis. He convinced the leader of the Greek navy that the only way to defeat the large Persian army would be to lure them into battle within narrow channels, where it would be difficult for the Persians to maneuver their large, heavy ships. Also, he feared that Greek forces might sail off to defend the Peloponnesus instead of mainland Greece. Therefore, he wanted to keep the Greek fleet on the island, where they would have no choice but to fight against the Persians. Xerxes, whose navy had experienced great losses at Thermopylae, did not want to attack the Greeks by sea. When he consulted his advisors, all but one person, Queen Artemisia of Persia wanted to fight the Greeks at Salamis. Artemisia advised the king to wait because she believed that the Greeks would eventually retreat due to disunity and lack of supplies. However, Xerxes rejected her advice and stationed his warships at Salamis. Hoping that the Greek troops would come out to fight in open waters, he waited for an opportunity to attack. Instead of attacking the Persian forces, the Greeks decided to set a trap for Xerxes. Themistocles sent him a false message saying that he had changed sides and now wished for a Persian victory. Xerxes, who had become impatient and was looking for an opportunity to attack, willingly believed the message. Assuming that the Greeks were not unified and ready to flee, he ordered his troops into the battle between the Bay of Eleusis and the Saronic Gulf. Once the Persian fleet had entered the channel, the Greek warships surrounded them. The Greek fleet, which was lighter and easier to maneuver, attacked the heavier Persian warships, breaking their oars and ramming their hulls. The Persian ships were left entangled and unable to move. The Persians lost 200 ships, while the Greeks only lost 40. Devastated, Xerxes and the rest of his troops withdrew from Salamis and retreated to the Hellespont. For a few more months, a small Persian army carried out military campaigns against the Greeks. Finally, in 479 BCE, the Greek army defeated the Persians at the Battle of Plataea and forced them to retreat completely from Asia Minor.